Not yet.
Hello?
They are still on. I've
Okay.
answered you. They are still on holiday.
Oh, okay. Well, good. So we are going live now.
Yeah, so got it. Cha-ching. We're live.
Yes, sir. So we're live now. People watching us from all around the world. We're here with Pastor Steve Olusola. We posted his flyers. Everybody have been seeing and has been curious to meet this man and understand some of the big work that he's doing around in Abuja. Sir, we'll just go ahead with you, sir.
I sent the
And
link,
to say
Isaac.
that, pardon?
I sent you the link.
Yes, you sent it to me. Yes. Sir, can I send you this link? Then you share it on your wall.
All right.
Okay, good. So this is the time that we just take to share. I was thinking it was going to be much of a problem for you, but let me just send it now. So you can just share this link on your wall, Facebook or anywhere that you want, so that your followers can get to follow.
Shout out to those who joined. I see like a couple. So I have to guess. Helena Brack, Loretta. Please feel free to drop your name so you can do like proper shout out. Thank you. Yeah, and how is the weather wherever you are? Over here is getting cold. The summer is actually disappearing into some kind of winter or something. Yeah.
Oh well, in Abuja, we are in the middle of rains here. This evening, it even looks cloudy and a little bit cold. It's going to rain anytime here in Abuja. Okay, how is the weather where you are, sir? Hello, Pastor. Hello, Pastor. How is the weather where you are?
Well, for me, but it's hot. Yeah, you. I. Hello.
Yep.
Hello, yes, we're asking how is your weather where you are?
I said it's hot here.
Oh wow, wow. Yes, Agwagwalada is the part of Abuja that is always very hot. It is the hottest part of Abuja. So, sir, without wasting time, we would like you to introduce yourself. On this show, we are very much interested in your humble beginnings. Please cast your mind back to when you were 2, 3, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 25, 30 to where you are today. Just take us through the journey of your life to get to become the missionary that you are today.
Thank you very much. In a brief, I was born on April 12th, 1970, Sunday, and my primary, my secondary school, my institution, all in Ibadan. And the normal growing up child. And but let me say that in 1988, after I finished my secondary school,
Yeah, I think the internet, we still have internet issues.
preparing to go to higher institution, I gave my life to the journey of a new life. And so, 1988, I gave my life to Jesus. And 1989, I started visiting my conversion. The first thing I got to understand, I'm just being a normal Christian in the church. So the first, right? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, sir.
Hello?
Hello, we
Okay.
can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. So After that, I had to start visiting missionaries to know what exactly they do. And then by 1991, after obtaining my diploma, I decided to go into full-time missions training. And so I went to the School of Cross-Cultural Communication, which we call School of Cross-Cultural Communication, which will prepare me for mission work across several cultures in the world. And then I finished this, and then I had a specific instruction to go to northwestern part of Nigeria in Rijal local government of Niger State, where I served as a missionary for 7.5 years. I served there as a missionary for 7.5 years among the Dukawa people. And my main work was church planting, church mobilization, student mobilization, mobilizing other students to get involved in missions. So that was what I was doing. And while I was in Niger, I also extended my work to part of Kebbi State, still in the northwestern Nigeria. And then while there too, once a while, I take 2-3 weeks off my main mission field, visit the Federal Capital Territory to see my other missionary friends, to see how they are doing their own mission field. So it's one of those trips in 1995 that I got to hear about the killing of twins and some children in Federal Capital Territory. And so, um, a lot of this continue, and but by 1999, I decided to come back to Nigeria.
Yeah, the internet is trying to is getting jealous again,
You
but
know,
as usual, we'll always overcome.
these things make it. I always feel like I should buy a satellite.
Yeah, man.
I should buy a
Honestly,
satellite and just like put it
it's
on
really
there.
it's really frustrating. Yeah.
Actually, I feel like buying two. I feel like buying two
Mm.
satellites and put it, but you know what feelings can do. Sometimes feelings are different from reality.
Yeah.
Come over to
Oh, yeah,
He has totally cut off now. So maybe when he comes back in, aha.
yeah.
I can hear you again.
Okay, yeah. Please
I'm
continue.
back
Yes.
online.
Yeah,
Yes. Go ahead,
Yes.
sir.
So I said by 1996, my then wife to be had already decided to go into
should we blame the government, Isaac?
Well, we can't. But we have been blaming the government for how long are we going to come blaming the government and things
pick
don't
up the
improve?
child from death, a child that was to be killed.
Mashallah. Mhm. Isaac, you're
For
in
how long are we
Abuja too.
going to
You
continue?
you're in Abuja too, right? How is the network there?
Yes, I'm in Abuja, boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's in the outskirts city of Abuja, the University of Abuja.
yeah,
So we figured out that if he leaves his community in Kuje
yeah,
and goes to the university campus, while he's on campus, the network will better there. So he's speaking from there.
yeah.
Uh,
To others
and
listening,
ideally, the
apologies.
university community
Yeah,
network is supposed to be good.
those listening, apologies.
I'm on again.
Yeah, yes,
Yes,
Pastor, please.
continue, sir. We are happy that you are not giving up. You want to continue the show. Just know that we're not in a rush. We'll wait for you. Anytime you come on, we will continue.
All right. So by 1999, I came to FCT. And so I now fully, with my wife, decided to go into all the nooks and crannies of Federal Capital Territory.
Mm.
And then we now discovered that it's not just one village that is involved in the killing of children. We now discover 67 other communities that are involved in this practice. And
67 communities, Brian.
Yeah.
Managing 67 communities involved in the killing of these infants. And to my interest, our viewers and yourself, Brian, to know that I've embedded with the pastor.
And this 67 of 68 is it's the killing of albino who are born with cerebral. Yes, I'm back again.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes. I was just saying, yes, apart from the first child that we had between 96 and 99, by the time we now fully launch into the work, we discover so many more villages. So we started pleading and asking, please, instead of killing these children, will you give them to us? And by 2003, we had opportunity to save a set of twins, but they did not survive because of the effect of the poisoning on those children. They didn't survive. Yet we didn't give up. And so we decided to be going to more communities and asking for more. You go to some communities, they refuse to give the children to you. Some will tell you, sorry, they are evil. Our culture say we should kill them. Why should we give them to you? And then, but some others, we say, okay, you can take them away. And for those who have given us the baby, we quickly bring them into our home. But let me tell you a funny story. In 2005, in 2004, precisely 2004, when we now got a clear opportunity after 2003, the one we got, we lost the babies. But in 2004, uh, I I had a dog, a female dog that gave back to 5 set of puppies, and then the dog strangely died. And then I didn't want to see these puppies die, so I went to the market, bought baby milk, this infant formula, and bought feeding bottle. So I started nursing the puppies. And then it was barely 2.5 months nursing those puppies that we now had a chance of rescuing another baby. A girl from a village in Abajiria Council of Federal Capital Territory. And then, honestly, even though we had a child already that had been rescued, I've not fully settled my mind to go into that kind of work because of my other missionary activity.
Yeah.
Well, so when they brought that baby, it was on a Sunday after church. When they brought that baby girl, uh, I quickly put a phone call to a friend of mine who is a medical doctor. That, well, I've been telling you about this practice. I have another baby girl. Why I actually wanted to take her out because the baby came with a lot of complications. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, sir. It's your
So
show.
that baby came
Yeah.
with some complications. So those baby came, yes. So I wanted the baby to be given good medical care. And I also like, let me give out this baby to maybe somewhere where they could take care of the baby very well. After calling the medical doctor and discussing, and as I dropped my phone, I heard a voice and God saying to me, you have been nursing puppies for how many months? For 2 months plus. You didn't give them out to anybody. Now you have opportunity to save another life. You want to give that child out. And I heard him saying, you take care of that child for me. Nurse these children for me. So I had to rush back to my room and spoke to my wife and said, I can hear a clear call voice saying we are to be nurturing these children. And so I had to call the medical doctor back and say, please, whatsoever assistance you can give me, this is what I hear God saying to me that we should be the one nursing those children. So that's how we settle our mind. So that's what gave birth to Vine Heritage Home Foundation in 2004. After that same year, we got 4 other children. And then from then till now, we continue to save those children, as many that comes our way. Though there are those who, when we request for the babies to be given to us, they will not give us. And then we leave them and move to other places where we could rest. That made our work very solidified because the people started trusting in us. Now, as at today, now we don't go to all the communities picking babies again. They are the one bringing them on their own. So that's what we've been doing. And as at today, now we have 160 in our shelter where we nurse and raise the children to the glory of God.
Yes, sir. I will leave Brian. Brian, I will leave you totally to talk to Pastor, because there are a lot of people that don't believe that this is actually happening in the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. And Pastor, you know, we have worked together. I've been to some of those villages with you, but my partner is speaking to you from America. So let him. I will just leave you guys. Yes, that is Brian, sir. So Brian, carry on. I will just follow the show.
Yeah. Pastor, thanks. I mean, I'm first of all like really motivated by your zeal and your drive, and also your connection with God. And now I'm like a kid in a candy store. I don't know if I should start asking about God or start asking about the kids, but I'll let God guide me to. So for a start, what does the government know that these practices are there, are in place in these communities?
Yes, actually, we started, we
Just ready.
wrote letters. We wrote to the Honorable Minister for Federal. We wrote the first letter in 2008, Development Center, which are
Yeah.
responsible, Federal Capital Territory, Secretary. But all the letters we wrote, any feedback to even any feedback from them, that this is what I kept on going there,
Yeah.
trying to see what they will do. But nothing came forth until the Sun newspaper, one of the news print media in Nigeria, pushed our first story out, talking about what we do. Then from there, Channels TV picked the story and ran a documentary on our work, because they also visited the communities. So it was this Channels documentary that will now trouble the minister and the cabinet,
Yeah.
that it appeared that this story is real. And this person is speaking confidently, so much so that they went to communities, viewed the local communities and their G13, that we
Yeah.
should come and talk about it, because according to him, he has spoken to some traditional rulers and in some of the communities, and they deny that the practice is going on. So we were there in the office of the minister with my wife, and we presented our case. We told them everything they need to know, the name of the communities, name, everything. Then I didn't listen to us. One of the people that were there, one of the executive director in the minister's office, said something. He said, Pastor, from what you are showing us, this story you are telling us is 95% true. But we are going to use the 5% to go and check it out by ourselves. So they requested for additional information. I gave to them. And the federal government of Nigeria, especially through the FCT administration, investigated this story. And then they came out with their report. And their report supported our story. And so the government is aware. They are aware. After the investigation report came out, they now set up a committee that was purely governmental. I was not a member of that community. I didn't participate.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything
Uh-huh. Yeah.
in that. They were all government officials who did that work, and subsequently they started visiting the community for advocacy acceptable to the government of Nigeria,
Yeah.
that such children are being killed. So government is actually aware of what we are doing.
Mashallah. Mashallah. So wow. And is there like some reason, traditional or however it could be historical, that this practice is done? The people, did they come from somewhere, like some mountain, or they were living in holes like Radmans,
Well,
and then they
let me
immersed?
say that this is not the only tribe in Nigeria
Mm-hmm.
that have been involved in this practice before.
Yeah.
We know that during the era of Mary Slessor in 1900s, she stopped the same killing of twins in the south region of Nigeria, the Calabar area. But little did everyone know in Nigeria that they are not the only one killing the twins. I also know that there is a region in Taraba, Adamawa axis that we call the Koma people. The Koma people also kill. In fact, all the practices we have here is also common to the Koma people. They also kill twins, they kill children who lost their mothers, they kill albinos too. And then but as a missionary, I'm trying to find out who originated this practice, what was their reason. But the news I get from everywhere, especially in Federal Capital Territory, that this is what they inherited from their parents, that such children are evil, and leaving them to live with them will spell doom and destruction for the community. So they won't allow them to live.
Okay, I see. I remember growing up in Cameroon, in my village, Mekondo Titi. They used to say that twins used to be looked like some magical creatures, and that if you covered them, some with a basket, they would turn to snakes, like green snakes. And yeah, and it is some to me. At first, it kind of inspired some fear in me, but that fear turned into awe. So I am awestruck now when I see twins. I'm just so fascinated when I see twins, and the world today, even this platform we're using, and Facebook, for example, Mark Zuckerberg was reported to have stolen the idea from some twins called the Winkonslov twins, something like that. Yeah. So and those are human beings. So I'm really wondering why. And it's magical. Then how about triplets then, or quadruplets? Do they kill them too, or
They
it's just
also
like
kill triplets. Yes, once is more than a child, whether they are triplets, quadruplets. Once a woman gives birth to more than a child, I have seen triplets killed. I've also rescued triplets, and they live with me.
mashallah?
So it's not just twins.
Yeah.
Once is more than a child.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how do they kill them actually? Let me ask.
They give them poisonous drink. The people have some local herbs taken from plants. They make a concoction of it, and then they give the children to drink. This is a concoction that will not kill them immediately. It takes weeks, because what I discovered those plants does to the children is that they cause multiple organ failure.
Yeah.
So no matter how you even try to raise them, for those of us who are even in the rescue, they will, unless they have not been given that thing, they will not survive it.
Yeah.
So they are delayed, they don't slaughter, but once they give them that drink, the children will eventually die.
Man, that means they actually suffer the kids. Because I mean, if your organs start failing, just imagine like the eyes go black. Like first of all, the kids that's wondering what's going on, then the left ventricle
and the kidney goes up.
Yeah, things like that, man. Yeah. So, oh my God. So, but
So,
actually,
Pastor.
yeah. So
okay, so Pastor,
sorry,
Pastor, I want to say here, Brian, let me leave you to go on. Just go on.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that, like, from your own perspective as a pastor and as a human being, like, how did you first? Yes, can you hear me? Yeah, hi,
yes.
Hi, Pastor. Can you hear me? So my question is, as a pastor, when you first came across this, how did you take the news? Like being a human being and being supported by God. Like, how can you please narrate that experience to us? How it went for you?
Well, my first experience was first talking. Growing up in the southwest of Nigeria, from southwestern part of Nigeria, we celebrate. If a woman give birth to twins, and you go to the market, every person will be celebrating you. Okay. You come back home with a lot of gifts.
Okay.
In fact, people who want to have twins will begin to carry them from you. Yeah. I want to have twins. I want to have twins. I want to have twins. Yeah. So for me, getting to now into another region and finding that they are killing them is totally not acceptable. Mm-hmm. I was first shocked. I was surprised. Mm-hmm. And then for the fact that you are told that Mary Slessor, the Scottish missionary,
Yes, it's really
has actually ended that practice. We thought that has ended completely in Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's only ended in Calabar area.
Okay. And Calabar is close to Cameroon, actually.
yes.
Yeah. Calabar is close to
Yes,
Yes,
Calabar.
it's
Cameroon.
close. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So yes, so Pastor, I like to ask you now. A lot of people still don't believe this. You know, I have been there with you. I embedded. We went with you. I spoke to these people. We met some of the women whom we are saving their twins. We met some of the women who actually told me too that their twins have been. You know, they don't call it killing. There's a way they say their twins have been taken away or
They
something.
just died.
So
Sacrifice.
The gods killed them.
yes, the gods have taken them away again. The gods have killed them. Now, Pastor, I'd like you to give us facts, right? Give us instances. How did you get to know that these twins are actually killed? I mean,
Okay,
how
let
did
me
you get
tell
to
you.
know
You know
that
what?
these? Yes.
A visible sign to know if a set of twins has been killed is that when you get to such communities, there's what we call altars. ALTAR, altar. Once the twins are killed, altars are raised to their spirit. And this is where they now make sacrifices, they pour libation, give some items. Sometimes they even put money. And the idea behind this is that they are actually trying to plead with the spirit of the twins to go away from their communities. They are like saying, listen, children, you are evil, you are powerful, we don't want you, accept our sacrifices, and don't come back. So anywhere you see these altars is a visible sign that in that house, in that compound, a twin has been killed. Anywhere you see twins alive, you will not find those altars there. The same thing is erected for triplets. One is more than a child. Once they are killed, you will see those altars standing around their homes. Those are visible signs. If you remember, I show you pictures
Yes.
of several of the
Yes, I have
altars,
the
even in the
pictures here, and
communities.
I'm going to send it. I'm going to send it to Brian.
So
Brian, I want you to put out these pictures.
Okay.
Just go ahead, sir. I'm sending it to him now.
so those are visible
Including the
signs that
picture
the
of that
children.
woman. Can we show the picture of the woman and the twins, sir? Well, she gave us permission to film that day, so I think it's all right. Sir, go ahead. I don't want to be wasting your time. This is.
Yes. So
Go ahead,
that's
Brian.
a major. Yes, Brian can talk now because that's a major sign
Yeah.
that a set of twins or triplets have been killed.
Yeah. Oh my God, man. And then about the kids now that you have brought up, like how old is the oldest, and how do they now, if they are old enough to understand what they survive from, how do they take it?
Well, my oldest rescue child is 23 years old,
Mashallah.
and when they grow up, we need to tell their story.
Okay.
You know, they are not children of olden days.
Yeah.
These are children who will ask you questions. They will ask me, Daddy, how come every day we have new babies coming in
Yeah.
and we have only one mommy and one daddy? How come you are having so many children?
Mashallah. Is it
So
magic?
I had to tell them the story
Yeah.
that God gave me special assignment,
Yeah.
and this assignment is to save lives. And for some of them, I tell them their story, especially when they are getting mature. This is how you came here. This is why I brought you, and I've been nurturing you.
Yeah.
And for some of them, they have come to appreciate the work because they got to understand that if we have not done what we are doing today,
Yeah.
they will have been dead and forgotten.
Yeah. Yeah. Mashallah.
So uh, and as many that we are raising, we nurture them, we put them in school, we give them every possible care. They call me their daddy, they call my wife their mother,
Yeah, you are.
because we are not just, in fact, until the number of children increase, we didn't really want to take caregivers to join us in the work.
Yeah. Okay.
We
Okay.
use
Okay.
our own accommodation at the beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah, Pastor, do you have a website? Is there a website that I could show so that those that are interested in following up can see it?
Yes, I uh, I
Isaac,
can
listen.
tell you the website if you can put it, or if it's possible.
Sorry, it's called what? Isaac, did you get it?
Is there a way I can
Yes.
Yes, just tell us the name here, and
type
Brian will
you
pull it
the
out now.
website?
Yeah. Yes, please. Yeah, Isaac, he can text it to you and then forward it to me.
Yeah, just type Vine Homes Foundation.
Okay.
Divine Home.
Divine or Vine?
Divine.
Okay.
Divine. Vine. VINE.
www.vineheritage.
The Vine Heritage Home Foundation. www.vineheritage-home-foundation.
Yeah, got it. Got it. Yeah, got it. Thanks. So,
NG.
yeah. So let me share. Okay, Pastor, thanks. Let me share my screen. Mhm. Yeah, I'll put it up now. Yeah.
Just a minute.
Speaking to them, here is the number 234-803-442-2935. And they have a Facebook page, a YouTube page, and Twitter. There's a Twitter handle. Oh, but all of those are going.
Why don't you can you share the page, Brian?
Yeah, I am. Unless you
Okay.
want me to share it on Zoom. Let me share it on Zoom too. Yeah, so here it is. So to those that are watching, here is the Divine Heritage Foundation. It was built on the Holy Spirit. The pastor actually narrated the story, how he was directed until he came and found this practice where twins are killed or more than one kid, like triplets. I don't know how they call them generically, but where more than one kid is killed, and then how they help them. So this is their website, and mashallah, they accept like donations. You can reach out to them. There's a contact page, there are reports, and there's a media gallery. Actually, Isaac, let's look at the media gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are some of the kids. Yeah. So you see, Pastor, can you tell us about this picture? Can you see?
Yeah, the first picture, that was our old accommodation, and the one you are seeing is a set of twins.
Yeah.
And you can see that the one on the one on my left hand side where I'm seated, the one that is very tiny there, has been given the poison already.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can see that the baby is completely dry. Of course, we lost those two set of twins eventually. They are the one we got in 2003, but they did not survive as a result of the poison.
Okay, mashallah. So they
So, Pastor, I want to ask again, how do you know that they are giving poison?
The women told us we did a survey in some of the communities, but we isolated the women from the men. The men never gave us that story. They will just tell us that the gods have killed them. But when we isolated the men from the women from the men, and we asked them point blank, they told us that there is a particular concoction that they usually take from their shrine. They give the children to drink, and then the children will die.
Okay.
The same concoction they give.
Take a look at Brian. Take it a little bit backwards. Let's go back to this woman with these twins. Can you see this picture? Who is this picture? What is this picture? Who are these people?
Yeah, that's a woman that gave us our own set of twins. That's about 10 years ago. The twins are still with us. That was about 6 months after we have nurtured the twins. The woman came visiting to see them. So that's the mother. Those children are called Mabel and Bethel.
Yeah.
They are still with us. And that's their mother.
So I'd like to know again, how is it with the men? You know, is it that the men are the ones that the mothers? It seems the mothers don't want their kids to be killed. Hello, Pastor. Hello. Hello, Pastor. Hello. Brian, have you seen the picture of the altar that I sent to you? Have you got it?
Hello.
It's on
Yes,
Messenger. Yes. Yes. So I want to ask you, the women, I see that the mothers cooperate more with you. And why is that? The fathers don't cooperate with you guys, with your missionary work to rescue these children?
Well, some fathers actually cooperate. Some fathers cooperate too. It's just that we have some stubborn fathers. The women, because they are the one that carry this baby. Some of them, if not that the culture and their village community rejects them, some of them will actually love to keep those children.
Okay.
Because if a woman has suffered for how many months, and then that woman is now to give those children away, or the children die, is not easy for them at all.
Yeah.
So how did these women manage to bring these kids to you? Because in Africa, the father is in charge of the family, is in charge of the children. In fact, they are actually his children. So I'm a bit confused. How do you get these children these women to bring you these children without the permission of the fathers?
It's with the permission of the father. If any woman is bringing, it's just that maybe sometimes the men, but let me say,
Brian, do you have a picture of the
in
altars?
fact, let me say that
yes,
I have more men actually coming out with the children than with women.
Okay.
Because if the father does not permit, we have had situations so children, and when they said no, the woman actually ran out without the children.
Aha. So yes. So Pastor Brian, give us, this is Pastor, can you recognize this picture? Can you see it? I took this picture when we went to that village. What was the name of the village that we went to? And I think you should tell us the name of the villages here, because people have found it very difficult, to accept that this is a reality. I have had to do a lot of convincing. Even when I shot it for CNN, up to today, we are still in the middle of this thing to produce that story. These people cannot believe it. So can you see this picture?
Yes, I can see it clearly.
So what is that? Do you know what is that?
That is the twin altar. Now you will notice that there are two clothes hanging on the two curves. The curves are the twin altar. If you have 3 of them, that means the children are triplets. If you have 2 of them, that shows that the children are 2 instead of 3. So the cloth you see on the altar is the cloth that touch them at delivery. Anything that touches their body first on delivery, especially clothes that the birth attendants, the midwife used to carry them. Once the children are killed, those clothes are placed on the altars as a contact to the spirit of the twins for sacrifices.
Good. Brian, I want you to slide to another picture, please.
Yeah, it's the same.
Not this one. Aha. Is this the altar, sir? Is this what you call the altar?
This is no. This is their one of the rumbu. This is their preservation point. But it's on top of this thing they erect between altars, because whatsoever they get from their harvest is kept in this container. We call it rumbu.
Okay.
Their granary. This is where they store their foodstuff after. So from this, they take from inside it.
Good. Yeah. So, sir, you can see this one. So, sir, in this one, there is one cloth. Can you tell us about this? Brian, do you understand what the pastor is talking about?
Put on you will discover when we went that the twin It's usually, yes. See, you can see this particular picture now,
Yeah.
that the thing is attached. Where you see that cloth, and you can see some feathers on that thing,
Yeah.
and a cloth over it is attached to this. So that's a typical train altar.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But I want to ask you now, sir. Brian, please don't shift. No, just go back. We'll come back to this woman. Now, Brian, Pastor, on this altar, there is only one cloth there. And I know that you also told me that this was what you told me that there is also communities that kill children whose mother give birth to them and died. If the mother dies, the kid is have to kill again. Is this true? Is this also
Yes,
a valid?
now, by way of operation, that practice of killing a child that loses his mother gave us the highest number of children we have, more than the twins and triplets.
Hmm. So Brian, Brian,
The
you will
children
see that.
who lost their mothers are more because maternal mortality, and so 70% of our
Yes. And at this moment, I have to say here, Pastor, we are in the middle of a project. One of my friend called Dr. Engineer Peter Smith, AGK, has developed a software, an online program where he wants to help to fight maternal mortality. And while we're talking about this in my group, I was trying to tell them that, the first point I would like to approach is the people of this community, whereby women who don't have access to hospitals, can just make calls and they will speak to a gynecology, because most of these issues are maternal issues. But my friends did not believe me. They didn't believe that this kind of practice is still going on.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that you're here to buttress the point. So Brian, let's go to the next picture.
Yeah. Mashallah.
So tell us about this picture, sir.
this woman you are seeing now, she is from one of the communities that are embrace what we have been talking about, that the children should not be killed. This woman, she lived in a community where we planted a church. The community is called Dogorua under Kwali Area Council of Federal Capital Territory. And because she has been attending church, she has moved from traditional worship to the Christian faith.
Okay. Oh wow.
And then their village chief was one of the first collaborators with us.
Yes,
That promised us that as long as we are ready to pick them, they will not kill any of them. And now, having watched, because from that community living with me as at today, so I have already the fact that those children are not evil. So when this woman gave birth to this child, um, and they called me, I came, I assessed the child, I spoke with the chief, I spoke with the mother, I spoke with the father, and they agreed that since we said these children are not evil, I told them there is no gods that can kill them. And so I had to provide some support for them to be able to keep those children, and those children are still alive. And so
Mashallah.
this is one of the communities,
Yeah.
I told you, my brother, we
Yeah.
have some who are not raising the children in those communities. But overall, we still have more than 65-70% involved in the practice of not accepting the children at all.
Okay. Mashallah.
So, sir, Mary Celeste. So, to our viewers in Africa who are watching this thing, this is the normal traditional band called the rumbu in Hausa. In Baju language, where I come from, we call it angban. This is where grains are normally saved, are normally stored. But when we visited this community, we discovered that it is in this band. So, if you look at it closely, you will see the altar that has been set up on the band. So even if you go to these communities, if you don't pay attention or if you are not aware, you will go to that community and leave and not knowing that this is what you have seen.
Yeah.
So, Pastor, I want to come back to you to say that Mary Celeste, who is a white woman, came to Nigeria and was able to solve this thing. You are a black man from Nigeria, a black missionary in Nigeria, and this thing has been ongoing. What I was with you in 2019. Was it 2019? Last year we went there, and the thing is still up. And you say you started in 2023. Yes, this thing is still happening. Is it that what is the problem? What are the challenges that this thing cannot be brought to a stop? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, the pastor will probably.
I mean Brian. I mean Brian.
Yeah.
Brian. This is isn't it an irony that a white missionary has come to Africa and to Nigeria, and she was able to solve this problem. Our missionaries have been battling with it, he said, since 2003. And I also wonder what is the role of government. He has said it here authoritatively that the government is aware,
Yeah.
And so why hasn't this thing? Why hasn't it gone away?
Well, just a minute. Let me stop sharing this. Okay. So, I mean, I don't think we can belittle tradition because even if you look at like the very powerful political theories, especially like that of Gaddafi, when he was tracing back how society should be erected, he said like order comes from natural law comes from tradition. You see, so which means if you have to uproot something that is rooted in tradition, then you're almost fighting with nature. You see, I'm not baffled that they face this because it's almost like from the narration and narratives, it's almost like you're fighting. If you're going to war with these communities, you're fighting a faceless enemy because you're passing in broad daylight, but you don't know what practice is going. If you don't know how they do it, so I think big ups to like Pastor, like for him to actually be able to realize this and for him to be alive. Because if you can pass through the societies and you don't even know what is going on, but you can dig in and understand what's going on, it's almost like infiltrating some kind of a power ring. And if you can go and come out, then God is really on your side, or you're extremely lucky.
In fact, Brian has seen the nail on the head of the nail. That day that I went to that place, I was a little bit afraid. Honestly, I was a little bit afraid. So this brings me back to the question. We'll take these questions one by one. I will also ask the question whether you're afraid or not.
Yeah. It's like infiltrating some mafia ring, some power ring. Like you get in and get out, and then nothing happens to you. You see what I mean?
Okay, let me hear your question, Avrak.
Yes, the government is aware about this thing. Mary Celeste came to Nigeria, a white woman from Scotland, came and solved the problem in Calabar. You're a black man in Nigeria, a missionary in Nigeria since 2003. Yet these twins are still being killed. That is what is the problem? Why can't you stop it?
When anything is tied to a culture, it will take a very long time to solve it because the culture is webbed, is closely knitted into their way of life. So much so that you see a woman giving out a child that she carried for 9 months, and she will just drop the children and call them evil. Because when something is about the culture, nobody wants to come out to dare it. Like Brian said, exposing something about the culture or going against the acceptable norm or culturally acceptable practice, for you to kick against it. I remember working in Dukawa land to expose the secret of their local deity is death sentence.
Yeah.
And I know how many times I was arrested. So it was not the first time I was confronting culture. When I planted church in Dukawaland, I had that same problem of them threatening me. If you expose the secret of our local deity, we will kill you. Some of them will tell me their gods will kill me. And so for any insider from that community to come out to talk about it is like a death sentence. Nobody want to talk about it. I think what helped opportunity to do this, it was because of our way of doing ministry, holistic ministry. Why we are doing this to church or not? When anybody is to use our own money of the community for surgery, and this is not cheap, these are not cheap surgery. We have to pay heavily, including traditional worshiper, Muslims, everyone who lives within those communities. When they have a health challenge, we go ahead to help to pay. So some of them started seeing us as these are not ordinary people. We need to give them the opportunity to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, maybe I didn't fully tell you that I had my own fears of attacks from the communities. I have series of attacks which I have to even wrote to the Minister of Federal Capital Territory when my life was threatened. They come physically to our shelter to threaten me. Association of Abuja Indigenes, they came to threaten me. There was a time they printed my picture and my name, everything about me, and they circulated to all their community leaders that this is a persona non grata in your community. Don't let this guy come to your community.
Yeah.
All those period when that was going on,
Why did
I
they
have
do
to
that?
write to the minister. Of course, because this is very clear. Jesus Christ said in the Bible, who goes to a strong man's house to go and take captives from his domain, and you expect him to just willingly let you go.
Yeah.
So their reaction is both spiritual and physical. They try the physical one, they try the spiritual one. I was
Tell us
involved in
about the
several
spiritual one.
accidents. Of course, the spiritual one, including seeing some strange things in your dream, around river banks.
Yeah. Even like
Several
Kalabati. Yeah.
times we see
Yeah.
our canoe capsize or the water almost going away with us, and we have to just depend on God's power. Not just me, but even some of my colleague missionaries. So all kind of, even the children themselves form of attacks, trying to prove to us that these children are really evil. They receive some strange dreams. They will say, I see somebody trying to kill me, because they need to prove to us that you are wrong, that these children are evil. What you are trying to do
Mashallah.
you are just wasting your time. So it's a lot of both physical, and I used to tell people if it's just about physical nature,
Mashallah.
and doing
I tell you, Brian, when we went to that village, we
everything
crossed
for the
rivers.
children, I think I'll be better off. But it's a combination. This practice has been going on for how long? We don't know. And you just came, you just want to, and the devil has seems to enjoy the bloodshed of innocent children over a long time.
Yeah.
And someone suddenly say you will not have access to them again. It's not going to leave you just to go like that.
Yeah. When I look
That
at
means I will
this,
not follow you to that place again.
this
Now
is a,
that
yeah.
now that I know this, I will not follow you, Pastor. I will not follow you to those villages again. Brian, do you have questions or comments or something?
No. No. But anyway, we appreciate all those that have taken the time out of their busy schedules to
Yes,
watch
I'm
this.
back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pastor.
So, Pastor, I want to ask, why is the problem refusing to stop? Mary Celeste stopped her own. And to say that, what are your challenges in really bringing this thing to a stop? Because the last time you told me 57
Isaac, you may need to plug in and plug out. Yeah, audio died.
Me?
Yeah, okay, now you're back. Yeah. All right.
Hello, Pastor.
I think your network.
I'm trying to say, Brian, okay, maybe I need to repeat myself.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Hello, Pastor. You know, Brian, when I first heard about this information, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
These are communities that are around the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. You know, I also met natives of these villages whom the pastor has been able to, get them converted to accept Christianities, Christianity. And these are the people that open up clearly and spoke to us and said, yes, this thing is happening. This thing is happening. And they took us around. In fact, we had to sneak. We had to, do our journalist way to sneak and take all these pictures.
Yeah.
Even though the village chief had already okayed it to come in, but going to do it again was another challenge.
Yeah.
So
I'm not surprised. I'm not really surprised because if you remember when we had our episode with Kiki Bandi, I was trying to tell you that oppression happens in so many ways, and people always justify it. It could be that you're an albino in terms of a race, in terms of racism. It could be that you are black, and there was a time when blacks were considered property, and you as a black person, you're sold up and down. And when they try to abolish that practice, things like this happen. But perhaps if you were not in that culture, you probably pass around and maybe not understand what's going on. You see, and then the same happens. People may be oppressed, killed because of their sexual orientation, because of the color of their skin, because maybe they have like twin brothers, so all of those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Pastor, tell us what are the challenges? Why is it that this thing is refusing to go? What do you need to help you to stop this thing? You and your team of missionaries.
Well, a lot of orientation, a lot of publicity. The more we talk about it, the more people condemn it, the more people talk about it. Though unfortunately, majority of those who are involved in the internet, majority of them, I can say, and so one of the ways to solve this is to go on radio. Go on radio, and then if it is possible for National Orientation Agency in Nigeria to send out information in local languages, in Basa and Gwari, where the people are really involved in the practice. If they can be sending those messages via text messages in their local languages, for few of them who can read and write, because I must also confess that education, illiteracy is very high.
Yeah.
Just about 7-8% of them are educated.
Okay.
And but so the way out of it is to mobilize people to go into the communities again and again and again, engaging them, talk about it, go with stories, go with video clips, showing twins like Peace Corps, showing other people who have lost their mother. Let people come and tell their stories.
Exactly.
That I lost my mother, I lost my father at tender age, see me who I am today. It's people like Bill Gates. I was learned that he didn't know his father too. If people like that, if they can listen to their message in local languages via radio, because the more we say these things, it will sink into their memory. And then what we do also is to take the children around into some of the communities, so their people can see them that the children are not evil at all.
Hope they will not fire them later.
And like I said to you earlier, out of the 68 communities we discover, 10 have stopped the killing. 10 have stopped. Which was
congratulations, Pastor. Alhamdulillah. Oh, praise to God.
So and this was because we did a program with Amnesty International.
Okay.
We had a program of advocacy with Amnesty International in 2014. around about 12 communities, and that paid off. Most of the communities that were involved in that advocacy now have stopped the killing.
Okay.
So if we can multiply that kind of advocacy in other communities, maybe in the next 5-6 years, this will also go down.
Mashallah. Mashallah.
So I want to ask those community people, those communities that you have mentioned, they have representatives in government. They have a local government chairman. They
Mayor.
have a councillor.
There should be a
They
mayor
have
around.
legislators in the House of Rep.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are they doing? They are in the government. They are part of the FCT government. Aren't they speaking against this thing? They should be helping you. Please, Pastor, speak frankly. You are a brave man. You've always been brave.
My brother, sure, you know how Nigerian politicians are. Even our representative in the Senate, has he come to see me? He has not come. For God's sake, these children are not my children. They are FCT children. If I were to be doing this kind of work outside Nigeria, somewhere like Canada, I would be like a god. They will be worshiping me. If I sneeze, they will be there for me. But these people, because let me tell you, politically, they use their people for their own advantage. Rather than serving their people, it's their people that are serving them. The only time you see them in some of those communities is when they want to canvass for next vote.
Yeah.
Because when you are being into some of the communities, you see the level of underdevelopment, the level of uncivilized people that you have. There are no road, no water, no light. The community where we started as missionary in 1989, this is 2020. They still don't have light since 1989.
30 years, so 31
no light.
years. Yeah.
And they have representatives. So what are they doing?
Well, if
so they are just there to serve themselves.
Yeah. If I can throw a note in there, Pastor, and from the enlightenment that I got while hearing your story, it looks like even the political situation relative to this practice and general politics in most African countries is itself a problem, like the killing of twins. So the pastor's solution of sensitization, education, having these workshops where you can constantly show the people that politics is about service, as opposed to being served. You see, this it makes me understand that this problem that the pastor is solving is just one problem in our societal issues. Politics itself is a whole other issue. It's like a whole power ring that you need to break into and then try to solve it. But aside from that, Pastor, with all the work you have been doing and the chiefs, is it possible to also have the chiefs talk, maybe on events? Is it possible for us to discuss with you and the chief, maybe in some future event? Is it something that you think is possible?
Yes.
That means to get some of the traditional rulers.
Yes. So that we can discuss, because just from what you said, because imagine that it's like when you're trying to dislodge some criminal organization, if you cut off the head, even like the head of a snake, then you see that's how you solve the problem. So what if that sensitization starts with the leaders? What if the leaders get to understand this problem or understand the solution, maybe by interacting with P Square and other people that have emerged and come up as successful and normal human beings? What if they themselves get to understand that?
That's a good example.
Yes. One of the communities that I showed, it was a commitment. In fact, more than one of them.
Yeah.
It was a commitment first from their local chief.
Okay.
That pastor will not agree with you that we are not going to allow this to happen. And because they made that decision, that's why that practice is in their own community.
Okay.
And so, but I didn't remember to tell you that we have an advocacy that is called rulers. And this advocacy is sponsored by European Union Commission in Russia, EU Commission in Nigeria is sponsoring that. And it's going to take us to and the idea behind that is communities that have stopped. We also targeted, and we make sure they voice out their own uh, European Union Commission. And then I have a technical partner that is also part of the project, Action Aid Nigeria. And so, and we are targeting the remaining 57 communities using the same style we used with Amnesty in 2014. That by the end of this 3 project, we will now do a review and see if we have succeeded in completely eradicating or minimizing the practice in Federal Capital Territory. So that's currently ongoing. Though we are hampered by the COVID-19 saga, because we'll have moved, but we have gone back to the fields now.
Wow, I mean,
so what is the possibility that we can get one of the village chiefs, maybe to come out and come to Gwagwalada? So we can search for some funding to fund that, so that the chiefs comes from his village, comes to Gwagwalada, or comes to Abuja here, and we put a laptop on
almost like he's going for a seminar. Almost like he's going for a seminar to discuss pressing issues, societal matters. You see what I mean?
You know, Abrak, what I think we'll be doing.
Yes.
I will check our itinerary for the year. Okay. Because part of what we are doing recently, we are going to be inviting some of them to come. Yeah. You know, because this is farming period, it's really, really difficult to bring anything out now. Yeah. Because they are farmers, and for whatever reason they don't want to come out. But I will look at our window program when one of them will be coming now. Yeah. For our intervention program. Okay. So I will let you know in time, so that when they come out, even if it's just for 1 hour or 2 hours, I can tell the chief, I have a discussion with you. You will be with me after we finish this one, and then we can now talk with the chief. But if it's to bring them, is almost like an Herculean task now, because this is the heart of their planting season.
I remember that even the time that we went here, aside from even getting to them, when we got to there, they were all in the farms. We had to wait and call them back to the farms, and we left quite very early at about 7 a.m. You know, we drove for almost 2 hours, Brian. If you've seen the movie The Gods Must Be Crazy, right? That was what was playing in my head. We drove in his car, we drove into rivers, as in the car would enter into rivers, and in the river it will submerge, it will go, come out. Man. You know, with Pastor, I was even scared of my life that I went to that place and I came back alive. I don't know, Brian.
I have a proposal, and at this point, I will supplicate those that are listening, even those that will listen before, after this. Let's brainstorm a little. So, Pastor, imagine that there is some kind of a commission, because look at this thing. Like, let's say when during the First World War, Second World War, these countries, the UN was formed because, like, you had to get presidents or representatives from these countries or their leaders, and then they will meet and they will put some matters arising on the table, and then they come up with a charter and things like that. So imagine an endeavor where you try to win over some of these chiefs, even if it means forming some kind of a body called a united body of chiefs or something like that.
That's
so that you can win them over.
It's possible.
Yeah, so you can win them over, even if it's that 2 chiefs come. Once they get educated on the issues, they understand the other chiefs. So once they have that body, and even if it means through that body again suggesting some other programs that could better the economies, even if it means, since they're a farming economy, you can create green farms. And if you're working with Amnesty and the others, once they see some positive change that is coming from the people that are trying to educate them, then they'll be motivated. So how about something like that? It could be a project that will take maybe 1 year, but
that's a very good idea, because that's a very good suggestion you are giving me there. And I will talk with my team members. They're, like I said, one of the reason why they even give us opportunity to save was the little medical work we are doing, free medical services.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in some of the communities, we have to sink
Yeah.
borehole, we have to give water,
Mm-hmm.
and even some of their youths that are in that rural, those rural communities, free education. So
Yeah.
it could even be for the people in this community, and 1,000 bag of fertilizers we're going to pay, and it's all because of this work we are doing. We
Yeah.
want a better life, not just interested in your children. We also want
Yes.
a better life.
Exactly. Yeah.
When we do that, that will make us to even have more impacts. You just want to talk about how bad we are. Now you are now
Yeah.
looking at what to do to
Yes.
help them.
Exactly. Exactly, Pastor. Yeah,
So
and that's what I
it
was
can
thinking.
work.
Yeah.
I will discuss that with my team members.
Yes, and because if you look at it that way too, the thing is, most of the things that we call evil, they are always done perfectly. Like if you look at slavery, for example, there were ads that were run to in America before. They used to draw black people like caricatures. They would draw them with very ugly faces. So people were actually conditioned to see black people as evil. You see, so whenever these things we call evil are done, they're done perfectly. Always genius plans. So what if we use the same plans to bring good? In the sense that when, for example, the colonial brutes came to Africa to get slaves, they would meet the chiefs, right? So perhaps maybe the first year they would be able to meet 3 chiefs, and then the chiefs will see the benefits of the trade. Then the chiefs will probably tell their other chiefs, and before you know, you have a syndicate of chiefs. And then when all of them incorporate and kind of implement the practice, then you see that it's something that after 10 years you can't dissolve anymore. So what if one uses that for good? You start, it could take 5 years, but you see that when the syndicate like pins its feet on the ground, the next 5 years will be something that will flow smoothly, and then you can eradicate these things, or not just eradicate, you replace it. Because like you're saying, you're not just saying what you're doing is bad, but you are actually being practical, because you're replacing that practice with something that is better.
They are giving them something that can add color to their life.
Exactly, exactly.
Uh,
Yeah.
And
so
and
yeah,
and I like
I
to
will discuss that.
Yeah. Okay,
go
Pastor.
ahead, Pastor.
Yes, I say I'm going to discuss that aspect with my team members. That anything that we can do to make them more collaborative,
Yeah.
more willing to end the practice, we are willing to do that because
Yes.
that is our aim.
Yeah.
That is what they came out for.
Yes, and
Yeah.
even on the side of the government, since there are mostly funds for some kind of events, it could be youth day, like you could always send appeal letters to the government. Imagine sending a letter to sponsor some workshop or some syndicate where chiefs will come to eradicate some problem. Then you can easily point the finger at the politician that, okay, this is what we asked, we presented this project, this is the projections we made, you're supposed to, in 10 years, it's supposed to bring this change. So you haven't supported the way we thought, and or you haven't countered it, or told us why you didn't support, if it's that we're trying to bring harm. So with that, you see that we can actually start holding our governments accountable, because you're not just pointing fingers or telling them, reporting that this is wrong. You're actually putting a solution on the table, which they can support, of which if they don't support, then you can hold them accountable. So I think that approach will have like many benefits if it's done and if it's implemented in a way. And that's how we build bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank
Yeah.
you to Pastor
We'll give
Mashallah.
that to
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. For
thank
me, I just want to say, Pastor, I just want to say before we go, that I mean, Pastor Brian mentioned something here. He mentioned about P Square, right? These are twins who have grown to be to the society
Yeah.
and have been successful superstars in the world. They've contributed to their society. They've helped their families and all of that. Have you tried to reach out to P Square, the musicians in Nigeria, so that they can actually visit these communities and show these people that here we are? We are twins. We are not harmful to our parents. And I think some of P Square, one of their parents or their parents are still alive. Their parents can also consult and testify to say our children have been beneficial to us. And
Yeah.
in terms of the albinos, we have an albino in Cameroon
Yeah.
who is a superstar. He's a musician, he's a superstar.
Yeah.
Boy Tag, we've had him on this show.
Yeah.
And Boy Tag, if you are watching, this is
Yeah.
me saying that you can also come to Nigeria, visit this community, and show these communities that albinos aren't supposed to be killed. They are not evil. They are human beings like people and like everybody, just so you can also play your part, to I mean, to stop this evil culture that is. I'm sorry to call it evil culture. To say that this culture that is killing these children, and also to add and say here, Brian, that Mr. Olusola has been doing all these things. Oh, let me ask her, sir, how have you been getting funding to do all the work that you have been doing?
Is we get our funding from mostly individuals and churches, mostly from individuals.
Okay.
If I put them on a scale, I will say that we get more from individuals than with government agency or even organization. If not for the current one that is ongoing, being sponsored by EU, which is a large sum of money, which is the largest money we get from an institution. All our operation has been funded by private people, individuals coming to the house to say, we love what you are doing, we'd like to support you. Yes. So
I have another suggestion.
I remember when we were just trying to processing to make this program possible. I called you one afternoon. It was on a Sunday. You said a kid has just been brought to you, and the kid is sick. Now the hospital bill. How did you go about solving that? Do you remember that incident, sir? I think it was 2 Sundays ago or so.
Yeah. Somebody called. Somebody called me on phone, and he was just asking, Pastor, I've not seen you in like 2 years. What is the latest? What is your who are your latest kids? I just mentioned, I have a new set of kids now. They are on admission. And he said, can you tell me how much is the bill? And that day I needed just 25,000 naira. But the person sent me 100,000 naira. And out of the 100,000, by the time the children were discharged from the hospital, all that we have spent on the child on those set of twins, we spent 88,000. So that money that fellow sent took care of their hospital bill. So this is the normal thing that happens to us whenever we are in need. Somebody will just come out and then make the fund available.
Yeah, mashallah. I have another suggestion.
Pardon?
I have another suggestion. I've just looked at the site, and when I go to the donation page, let me share my screen.
Brian, share it so people can get to see the site again.
Yes.
Good.
So let me share my screen for Facebook.
Yeah,
so,
we can see it now.
Yeah, I see donation, and you see this whole copy, this text here, and the amount to donate. What if the team can come up with some, people, the same way that people love art, that they would like to see a clear picture of things, that helps motivate them. So what if there are some kind of packages or even some small description of telling someone that maybe 110 naira helps a kid this way. It helps them toothbrush, toothpaste. It helps us buy Maggie.
What I will do, I will be sharing that one with Abrak. We have a flyer which breaks the needs of the children into smaller particles. This amount is needed for education for a child.
Exactly.
This amount is needed to feed a baby.
Yes, they should put it on this page.
We have that.
Imagine that you have you can put it on this page, and then maybe the donate can be on the right side. The left side could have that flyer, and then the right side now is like where to actually act on the information that is on the flyer, or it could just be the notice. Yeah.
I am going to discuss that.
Yeah.
Yes. I will do that. I will come back. We can do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Since you already have those flyers.
Yes. It's just to put it there.
We can do that so that the people can just something to do.
Exactly. Yeah, because a lot of people, right, especially nowadays where the way the world is, some of us like age group were no more kids, right? So you have lots of decisions to make. You don't rely on your parents anymore, and decisions depend on a vision. So everything that's on, you have to see the vision. The vision has to convince you, even for 10 naira that you have to spend. So when one sees a clear picture of where the money is going or whatever help they give, it actually motivates them, and it's a human thing. That's why God gave us a brain, so that because if you just see this box, you cannot imagine. We human beings are so intelligent that when you see this box, you can imagine so many things that the imagination will overwhelm you. So you end up not imagining anything at all. But if you see the actual picture that shows you where it's gonna go, then you can actually trust that. So yeah, that would be amazing. That would be amazing to have that whole package here, and then the call to action they
Yes,
can act by. Yeah, yeah,
we will, yes, we will
Yes,
do
sir.
that. We
Just
will
so you
include
know,
that one in our.
yeah. Mashallah.
Brian is a computer programmer, so
Hmm.
this is why you hear him talking about the site.
Yeah.
He's trying to say, yeah, Brian is a computer programmer with the World Bank, so he's trying to say that the more efficient the website is, the very likelihood that you get people to participate
Yeah.
in that website.
Yeah.
So,
It's
sir, I'm sure that you
information
have taken
architecture.
down some of these suggestions,
Yeah.
and we
Yes,
will advise that you work on that website. And I like to call people
yes,
who are listening to us right now, wherever you are in the world. This is what is going on in Nigeria. I have been to that community with this pastor myself. I've seen it with my own eye. I've met people. I've interviewed them. They've confirmed that this thing is happening. You know, I know that pastor was also working with one NGO who were giving free maternal health services, and this is what has opened the window, to these people, to listening to them, and is bringing about the reduction of this stop in these practices of killing these twins, these triplets, and these albinos, and also children who their mothers die in the process of giving birth to them. Those children are killed too. But because of these interventions that the pastor and some of what's the name of that organization, sir, that gives free maternal health? We embedded with you people.
pick, pick.
Pick,
Yes, I
yeah,
know the
yeah, it's what,
method.
yeah, pick, yeah. Some women, I think it's a woman, like an
It's a
NGO
woman.
group, yeah, that gives
Yes,
that they went
yes,
out and we were giving these free maternal health services. So we are saying here that please, you can come on the website www.vineheritagehomefoundation.com. There is a post there for contribution. If you do well to contribute your own quota, it will go in a long way, to helping provide maternal services, drugs, potable water, and even the missionary work there. And also, Brian, it will interest you to know that even in that place, there are also Muslim communities. There are
Mashallah.
also Muslims coming to preach to these communities. Yes. So
Mashallah.
it's a two-way thing.
Yeah.
Either
Right.
you are a Muslim or you are a Christian. Isn't it, sir? I mean, you can speak for us. Speak, you can share
yes.
it.
I have mentioned it earlier that
Yeah.
most
He
of the
did. Yeah.
communities we have the traditionalists, we have the Muslims, we have the Christians.
Yeah.
In fact, the
Good.
traditionalists
So,
are even higher in percentage than the two other non-religion, Christians and Muslims.
Yeah.
yes.
Mashallah.
So, Brian, and let me remind Pastor of one requirement that the chief made when we went there, and I just shook my head. The pastor, the chief asked the pastor and said, Pastor, do you remember the guga? Do you know what the guga is? A pitcher. A pitcher is the
Yes,
fetcher that you
to
drop
draw
into a well
water.
and take water.
That's a
So the
bucket, man.
last one,
Is that not the bucket?
pardon?
Is that not the bucket?
Yeah,
You
it's a
put
bucket,
there,
but
you
there's
tie
an
the rope.
English word for it. You see, you are in America. Me, I can speak English more than you. You
Man,
see.
mashallah.
There's a word. There's a word they have. It's called a pitcher. Yes, it's called a pitcher.
Yeah.
When we were studying poems there's a poem written, a snake or something, D.H. Lawrence or something. So
Yeah.
in that poem, that was when I learned is a pitcher. So
Yeah.
the pastor was now telling, the chief was now saying to Pastor, the last pitcher that you bought for us is spoiled. Now we can hardly get water from the well. And Brian, that would tell you,
Yeah.
the little things that these people need to change their life.
Yeah, human beings want change, Isaac. Like, it's human nature, right? Like, if you look at history, yeah, even in America, that they always say that the Indians were killed. Like, they'll bring the train and the rest, but I've been reading books and seeing movies where once the people start understanding the essence of that, right, then some consensus starts emerging. You see, once
Yeah,
they start seeing the benefit, like we all
yes,
want to see a benefit. If they
yeah,
believe, and even philosophically, it's what they call cultural relativism. Like they believe that they are eradicating evil by those practices. So you cannot just tell them that's evil. You have to show them something that is better, and that's the thing that
you
will
see,
actually, and that's just being human. That's the thing that if for example you're eating rice and now they say, let's say eating bread, and they say that don't eat bread, you will not stop. But if someone starts making you to understand that maybe the bread, the carbohydrates, or whatever it is that is there can affect your blood sugar levels, and then they actually give you grains or some kind of protein or something that is better, and if you can eat that and see how it affects your body, then you adopt it. You see what I mean? So
yes.
it's like a human thing.
I mean, so the pastor just bought him a pitcher which he used to fetch well for the community,
Yeah,
and that pitcher has been bad. And since the pastor has not visited the community,
yeah,
they've not been able to get substantial water because there is hole in that pitcher.
yeah, yeah.
And the
I've
pastor,
even done
here
that.
and there, I
I
showed
have
him,
I have done that.
Yeah, wow,
you have done
mashallah,
that. I know you.
mashallah.
I showed him,
Yeah,
yes, and he was very happy. And that was when he granted me the interview, sir.
wow.
That
You
was
see,
when he was
Yeah.
happy to
exchange.
grant me the interview.
Yeah,
You know, so what I'm calling me for me now, I'm just calling on everybody listening. Please, these are ways that you can put in your money to bring about change in humanity. We don't
yeah,
have to listen to the government again. You know, we don't have to wait for the government at every point in time. You know, we can do our own bit. You know, and sometimes when the government sees that we as the people are doing our own bit,
yeah.
they'll be forced to reckon with us.
Exactly. And we can hold them
Yes.
accountable because, like I said earlier, Isaac, like once someone proposes something that is substantial, then you can hold others accountable. But when if we just like talk, then what shall we hold another person accountable for? So I mean, and again, even in practices like alchemy, there's a lot of equivalent exchange. Like in order for you to gain something, you must do an equivalent exchange. Like in order for you to pass some exam, you have to read or do something equivalent that will make it. So anyway, but Pastor, thank you very much for like enlightening us on these
Thank
issues.
you for your time.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you very much.
We
Yeah,
we have a better
Also,
network
we
today.
yeah, yeah. Mashallah.
All
Amen.
right. Thank you so much.
Do you have anything
sir,
to tell us
God
is
bless.
there
before?
anything that you
Yeah,
want to say?
yeah.
Is there anything that you want to say that we have not asked you, that you want to share with the
No,
world?
no, no.
You know, we have been asking you
No.
questions. Maybe there's something that we didn't ask.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have said the major things here tonight. Let everybody be aware. Let everybody join hands.
Yeah.
Uh, as we're trying to stop the practice, the children need to be kept alive. Their living will be a testimony that they are not evil. If they are here, they are dying. If they are not well taken care of,
Yeah.
we will not achieve anything.
Yeah.
Because the people at the back of their mind will be saying something like, "Hey, we told him that no matter what you do, they cannot survive." So it must be like a two-edged sword. We
Yeah.
are trying to work with the community to stop the practice. We are also nurturing the children very well, so be able to
Yeah.
survive and stand as testimony that the practice have to go away.
Mashallah.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you to Pastor Isaac. You have any closing
Thank you, sir.
remarks?
God
I
bless you.
do. Isaac, you have any closing
Thank you.
remarks?
I just want to call on. I just want to. I have on this
Yeah.
topic. I just want to call on the federal government of Nigeria, particularly the Federal Capital Territory.
Yeah.
You are aware about this thing, you know, and I want to give kudos to. Sir, you told me that the last government, which was headed by the former minister of FCT, who is now the governor of Bauchi State, was really paid a good attention to the issue. Do you remember telling me that, sir?
Yes, they did that. They did that.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So we want this government in this regime, which is in place now, to replicate. I mean, I'm sure the documents of the work that the governor, the president, the minister, the then minister did, you know, the documents are still there. Please, you should get involved in this thing so that
They are there.
these children,
Yeah. Okay.
so that these
Mashallah.
children can actually survive, so that these children can come to this world and also enjoy a good living.
Yeah, mashallah.
Thank
So,
you. That's all.
Pastor, sorry, just to
Thank you
take
so much.
a minute more of your time. To me, from the inspiration I got from this episode, there is this Chinese saying that you can't take the place of the master executioner. If you do that, you'll probably hurt your hand. There is someone to do it, and if we all believe in God, then the same way that people ask God that show us that you're alive, right? They should ask the same, that if these children are evil, God should take them out. So it should not be a place to actually go and take our own hands, get our hands dirty, and eradicate these kids, because then we may hurt our hands, and that could be a soul. And whatever happens to our societies, we may be locked in dark ages. So yeah. So thanks, Pastor. Thanks, Isaac. I hope that we can continue to have these enlightening conversations and motivate more people to help. And little by little, we can change our neighborhoods, then change our cities, then change our states, then change our countries, and eventually Africa. So thank you, Pastor.
Frank.
Thank you, Isaac. Yeah,
Thanks
everyone.
so
Shout out
much.
to everyone
Yeah,
for
as soon
listening.
as
Yeah,
possible.
God bless you too. Yeah.
Yes,
Thanks, everyone.
thank you.
Yeah,
All
bye.
right.
Yeah, cheers.